For the past year or so, I've been chasing an intermittent sort of stumble or hesitation at idle. It came and went. It was mostly when it was cold, and it has finally gotten bad enough that it's thrown a code for a misfire, a P0308, which is a cylinder 8 misfire. Now there's various things I could do, a couple of tests I plan on doing, a couple of things I've already done, but basically I'm just going to throw a bunch of parts at it. Now the P0308 is not flashing. If your check engine light flashes, that means you have a catalyst damaging misfire. Basically the ignition is not working like it should, and it's sending unburnt fuel through the exhaust system and will damage your catalytic converter. I don't know if Land Rover has a code for a fuel injector, but I'm expecting it possibly to be a fuel injector issue. So I've got, here's the parts that I have. I've got plugs. I have 35,000 miles on these plugs, which I've gotten 55,000 miles on these plugs in the past and experienced a similar issue when they were on their way out. I don't think 35,000 is enough. I did buy these plugs, and I've got actually almost exactly 35,000 miles because I'm at 225, close to that. I bought these plugs in 2021, and at that time I was getting a lot of defective parts. So I don't know if these plugs are poorly made or not, but I bought these a few months ago from Rock Auto, so those are going in. I've got STI wires on there, but they're used when I put them on about 5,000 miles ago. They were used for testing purposes on a variety of other motors, so I think the little clips in there may be a bit worn out, so I'm just going to replace those. The fuel injectors on this truck are original with 225,000 miles. I've done O-rings in the past, but I think it's time just to put brand new Bosch injectors on. So I got a set off Rock Auto, pretty reasonably priced. I think all 8 of these were, I don't know, $260 maybe, which is probably the cheapest you're going to get. Now, one thing to note is cylinder 8 and cylinder 7 are the 2 back cylinders against the firewall. Those are the first injectors that get fuel from the back. Now, I did replace the fuel pump. The original fuel pump was working, but there's a very light crack on the top, and you could get a sort of fuel smell in the cabin. So potentially, I dropped stuff in the fuel tank. It's possible, and it made its way up through the system and hit cylinder 8 injector and is clogging it. Also, whenever I part out a car, I have to remove the fuel, and I usually just put it in here and run it. So that's another potential for contamination. Better safe than sorry. This is something I want to do at 225,000 miles. I hate to just throw parts at it. Other things I've done to check the stumble and hesitation, I've cleaned the IAC valve, I swapped out a mass airflow sensor, and those did nothing. Other things that could cause a misfire, it could be a low compression, which I doubt. Or because it's cylinder 8, it's right up against a coolant passage. If the head gasket is leaking, it could be dripping coolant into the combustion chamber. And I did head gaskets almost 100,000 miles ago, so they should be good. But it does happen mostly after I've left the car sitting. So that could have enough time for coolant to get into the passage and then cause the misfire. This truck has been sitting for several days in here, so we should be able to see coolant in there if that's the case. I've got this cheap borescope, which is a real handy little thing. It's just some random, Chinese brand off Amazon for $100, but I've used this several times when I did valve springs on my truck, and it was really handy. I'm going to run a compression test, probably on all the cylinders, just to see where they stand. I would expect it to be at least 150 psi. This motor does not burn any oil. I do 5,000 mile oil change intervals with Shell Rotella 15W40, and I never have to add oil in between. So I doubt if it was low on compression, it might have bad rings or something, and I would think it would burn oil, but you never know. This is an air filter. This is not really needed, but I'm just going to do it anyway. This is a shuttle valve. This might be probably another project. I also picked up one of these hood lights. This is on a spring and it clamps down on your hood, so should be able to see better there. So first things first, I am going to pull the plug and take a look inside and see if we can find coolant. And if we find coolant, then we know none of this is going to matter. It is going to be a head gasket. So we'll take a look at the plug in the combustion chamber and we'll go from there. This plug does not look steam cleaned. It looks pretty normal, a little fouled maybe. Still see the electrode. I think these NGK plugs should be good for at least 50,000 miles. I do not see any coolant in there, which is a good sign. Some carbon buildup. See some cross hatching on the cylinder walls. Right there's some scoring on the wall. If I can get this, you see that? I don't think that's enough to cause compression issues. Well, this is about 225,000 miles worth of Land Rover V8, so not surprising that it shows wear. I don't see anything major jumping out at me right now that would indicate it's causing a misfire, like coolant or a hung open valve or a major scoring. You can see scoring in there. Right there. That's pretty bad. But like I said, this motor does not use oil, and it runs about as good as 225,000 miles. It's going to get, I think. So, all right, let's move on to the compression test. All right, I got all the plugs out to do a compression test, but I'm realizing that I think I've found the issue in what caused it. Now, pulling out all these plugs with only 35,000 miles and comparing them, the problem, spark plug number 8, the electrode is pretty worn compared to, say, number 2. And if you look at a brand new plug, you can compare them, and they're all pretty worn, and there are several things that cause that. Let's see if this camera works a little better. If you look back at number 8, which is the problem cylinder, you can see that electrode, how worn down it is compared to even number 2. And that's obviously worn down since it has 35,000 miles compared to a new one. So if you put number 8 and number 2 together, side by side, you can see the difference. Compare that to a brand new one. Number 2 doesn't look too bad. Number 7 looks like it's right behind number 8. So it looks like these rear cylinders are getting pretty hot, and I think I know why. Several things that can cause a cylinder to run hot, or a plug to run too hot. I think I had all these issues. Now, just from a hot running perspective, I had a clogged radiator and a worn out fan clutch, which I replaced. So the motor itself was getting hot, but the hot running issue, I believe, was related to this repair I did over here. This wiring harness leaned up against the exhaust manifold, and it burned a bunch of wires. The camshaft position sensor, the NOx sensor, and a host of others. It was the starter one that ultimately caused me to investigate. But that caused the truck to run lean, I believe, and it caused it to ping, which I definitely got pinging in this truck, but I do what I always do, ignored it and kept driving, and that's worked for the past 100,000 miles. But you can see on this tailpipe, all the soot, the ring of soot around here. And I knew this was an issue, but it's been like this for a while, and I just didn't care. It's an old Land Rover, it just runs. So that is my issue, and that is why these plugs, especially the back ones, they must have gotten the hottest. That's why they failed prematurely. It wasn't because of poor quality parts, and it's not because of injectors, I doubt, although I'm sure that I'll see a benefit if I put those in. I think it's pretty obvious that was the issue. Now, I love throwing parts at a car as much as the next guy, but I think I'm going to save these for another time. I prefer, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So I'm going to put the plugs in and see how it runs. And if it still runs rough, you know, we'll investigate. But I'm pretty sure this is my problem. Yeah, I always talk about how you shouldn't let a problem go on too long, and it'll create a bunch of issues if you don't fix it. But I never fix any problem. I just run it because I'm lazy. I don't know. It's an old Land Rover, and I feel like that's what they're made for. Now, I've got these plugs out. I am going to run a compression test, just because at 225,000 miles, it'll be good to know what the compression is. I got the plugs pulled. All I got to do is pull out, let's pull out the fuel pump relay, which is this one here. And we should be able to crank without sending fuel into the cylinder. And obviously it won't start, so that's what you want to do when you run a compression test. Take all the plugs out at once, don't just do one. That way your motor turns over easy and it's not, your starter motor's not straining. May as well start with cylinder 8, since that's a problem cylinder. Even though I think compression's going to be fine, I would expect it to be at least 150 or higher. 170, maybe. 225,000 miles, and this thing I bought 15 years ago for $800. The dealership told the previous owner it needed a motor, so I planned on putting a motor in it. But I fixed this thing for free. It was a bad plug wire and it was overheating. It was severely overheating. The guy told me his son drove it like that. It's had a rough life. I'm the 6th owner, and the car was only less than 10 years old when I bought it. So it's been rough, so I don't expect the compression to be too high on this thing. Oh, look at that. That's up 200 PSI. That's pretty good. That's way more than I thought it was going to be. All right, I'm happy with that. Well, it seems as though the compression is more or less normal. I was getting a touch worried on those last 2 cylinders, but the battery was kind of dying, which I guess skewed the numbers. I put it on the charger there, and I did each back cylinder twice, and it was the same. And if you need one of these chargers, this brand here, this is an excellent charger. It's not computer controlled or anything. It's just like a manual charger. They're kind of expensive, but every now and then you can find them used. I got a pretty good deal on it because it was dented. So this is what I came up with. Surprised that some of the cylinders were over 200. 6 was 165. That's the lowest. I would say that's good for 225,000 miles. Now I'm going to put it in my book here, just so I know. This is an oil pressure test I did at 213,000 miles last summer. So what I'm going to do is just replace these plugs. I'm not going to do the injectors or any of the other stuff. I think that should fix my problem. Once these go in, if there's other issues, you know, I'm going to save these. I'm not going to return these because I want to do these at some point. I would like the car to be as reliable as possible. So when I take this out to Utah, out in the desert, it's one less thing to worry about. Fuel injectors, I think, are fine in here, especially since I redid the O-rings recently. And by recently, I mean probably 5,000 miles ago. But it couldn't hurt to have them in there, and it's only a couple $100. And they're good Bosch parts, so I think that's what I'm going to do. Let's get these plugs in here and see how it runs. Just a tip, putting these plugs in an aluminum head, turn left. You can feel it kind of seat, and then do it by hand, tighten it, because these are at a weird angle and you might cross thread them. Plugs are in, wires are on. Now while I'm in here, I'm just going to do the air filter. It's been a while, I think. It's not part of the problem. I should have written down. Oh. Well, I just did that less than 4,000. All right, that's fine. That was just done recently. Okay, I guess we're leaving that in. Now let's start this thing up and see what it sounds like. It should be noticeable. Listening to the tailpipe, it was an obvious misfire, so I'm not going to check the codes. It took so long for the misfire code to come up on the code reader. I don't think clearing them and looking for that's going to really tell us anything. All right, I'm gonna say job done. You probably couldn't tell. I should have taken a clip before I started this work, but it was pretty obvious coming out the tailpipe. I mean, it was a very noticeable misfire. I'll have to drive this around and I'm gonna clear the codes and see if it comes back, but I'm gonna say that's fixed. You know, I go back and forth on, you know, throwing parts and spending money on, you know, genuine stuff that I may or may not need rather than cheap aftermarket parts, but I really am at the heart of it with this car. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So we'll leave all this stuff here for future repairs because it is a Land Rover and it will definitely need them. So let's go do something else.